If I were to ask you, what are the biggest Minecraft servers, what would you answer? Hypixel? Mineplex? Perhaps you would say 2b2t, the oldest Anarchy server in Minecraft. But it's far from the only one, and there's a whole host of other servers out there, with perhaps the most notable amongst them being Constantium. That is why I enlisted the help of a fellow Minecraft historian, Cuboid, to dig into why Anarchy servers are still around and its history. So strap in, grab your pet rock, and let's dive in once again into the fascinating history of what could be Minecraft's longest running game mode. Before we begin, I would like to ask you, if you do like this content, consider hitting that sub button down below. We are extremely close to the 1k, and if we hit it, I will upload 2 times a week for the next month, so pile on in and get that pre-1k coolness. It's no real secret that Minecraft YouTube is an old space now, with many creators I grew up watching now being around their 40s, and the interest in Minecraft was receding harder than those creators' hairline. Fast forward a little bit until FitMC releases a bunch of videos about 2b2t with his iconic catchphrase and soothing voice. He got Minecraft back on track, with the Anarchy trend taking over the platform to a degree that will not be seen again until the 100 days challenges, which, oh god, I'm gonna have to cover those, aren't I? In any case, it struck a chord with the audience. The richness of its lore and deep history felt like a glimpse into another world, and personally, that's what I was there for too. I wanted to learn more about its lore and people rather than actually play it, because let's be honest, what is fun about your base being blown up every goddamn second by a Romanian with TNT and a big dream? The story and history told by Fit and others about 2b2t felt so organic and real that you could just get lost in. But perhaps that is what we should be talking about. Why are Anarchy servers still so popular today? For those living under a rock, can you please take a shower? You've been living under there since my last video, which is a week ago. And now, while you're in the shower, let me explain to you what makes an Anarchy server an Anarchy server. No rules, because there are no rules about cheats, conducts, and chat, etc. No shirt, because there are absolutely zero quality of life changes made, except for the fixing of exploits. And no servers, because basically you're on your own, as staff rarely, if at all, intervene. It's the Wild West of Minecraft, where survival for new players is measured in minutes and escaping the spawn is seen as a rite of passage in most cases, like the Temple of Trials in Fallout 2. And if you got that reference, I hope your wheelchair is sitting extra comfortably today. I guess if I have to explain it, people just like the thrill of it. It's more a question of if your hacked client can react faster than the other. Not to take away from the achievement, of course, because if you ever saw 2 Anarchy people fighting, it's really impressive. But we've all heard the stories from 2b2t, and I might be inspired by FitMC. I'm not gonna copy him entirely. That's why I think it's time to talk about Constantium, and who other to best talk about it than my fellow historian and Constantium veteran, Cuboid.
As FitMC once said, Anarchy servers are like the abused stepchild of Minecraft. So why do I play Constantium? Well, whilst Constantium certainly isn't the biggest or oldest Anarchy server, I believe it is the most genuine in the sense that our admin, Phantom Captain, never spawns in items for players and has never granted backdoor access to any other player. He is fast and reliable and regularly updates the server. Of course, when you talk about an Anarchy server, a lot of its reputation comes down to the mysterious person that runs it behind the scenes. There are many things to consider when running a Minecraft server, such as bot attacks, DDoS attacks, server hosting costs, and if the admin is not competent, the server will surely not last long. Many custom plugins will have to be made by the owner to prevent players with hacked clients from totally breaking the game. Constantium has dealt with these issues since 2016 when it first started, and since then over 100,000 players have joined to leave their mark. Constantium was started on February 14th, 2016 after Phantom Captain became tired of running a server with many rules and plugins and having to deal with player arguments over plot, building materials and other issues. Not long after, a 2B veteran, James Russells, joined Constantium and brought many 2B2T players along with him. They built a spawn base called 400 Base as a tribute to 700 Base from 2B2T. On April 28th, the first lava casts were created by MRX, and the first dragon egg was collected by Spartan 512 around the same time. Now, I first joined Constantium in 2018 and was surprised to see many recognizable 2B2T players. Most of the spawn region was already a wasteland, and I was killed multiple times whilst trying to escape. I was quick to start a group called the Salt Mines, but ultimately I loved joining all the player gatherings at spawn, so much so that I even made a semi-public base called the Cuboid Biome in 2020. This base would go down in history, as it was the grounds for the largest player gathering at the time, and the player Ian Rand Mackenzie designed some flip-flops in honor of the base's downfall that I now own. During the lifespan of the server, many huge bases have been created, destroyed, and repaired. New exploits are found on the server that are used maliciously or just for fun, and new players join in the hopes of becoming established every day. All in all, what I find great about Constantium is the old map, the ability to use hacked clients, and a world that does not reset. It's also important to note that currently, Constantium is the oldest Anarchy server that has actually updated to 1.19. Stay alive out there, Cub fam.
Alright, thanks Cuboid. If you haven't already, I highly recommend you check him out if you want more Constantium content. They have some good videos about the subject over there, and mayhaps I will appear in a video there too. Who knows? But let's get back to my roots, shall we? From a server operator's standpoint, Anarchy servers must be easy to set up right. Just plop in a world, don't even bother installing essentials, patch some backdoors and done. Simple, right? Oh my sweet summer child, I think it's highly time we talk about Chunkloading and TNT. Now I could sit here and give you the math, but I'm going to keep it simple. First up, this is an absolute basic necessity, but please pre-generate your world. Most lag on a server is because someone is taking a boat at Mach 5 generating 6,000 chunks a second, and if they are already generated, it no longer needs to generate them, it only needs to load them, which is faster than generating a whole chunk out of nothing. Now, chunk loading is a whole thing on its own, but in general, the game splits it up into 4 levels. The area the player is standing around is giving a load level of 1 to 31. The further you go from the player, the higher your level will go. If your load level is below 31, all ticks in the chunk happen, meaning plants grow, redstone work, and entities will continue to walk. Going further from the player, if we reach load level 32, it will no longer do chunk ticks. At level 33, redstone will no longer be working, and at level 34, only the terrain generation will work. Like I mentioned in my paper MC video, chunk loading is a big contributor to lag. And then we need to talk about TNT. When a block of TNT explodes, it first calculates what it's going to hit. If it finds an entity, it will first calculate the damage to that entity, then the blocks surrounding it. It is much more complex than this. But do I look like a maths teacher to you? If I do, I really need to get a shave. Couple that with the dozens of items laying on the floor. If you explode a full chest, this can cause even more lag, and in many cases, Anarchy servers are a golden example on how these things can lag a server so bad that they get exploited. They're the biggest case study in the effects of certain gameplay features and how it can be exploited to create an advantage, creating an organic story that no other game mode can match. So take these lessons to heart when you make your own server and run it better. But with that being said, today's story is at an end. Next video is going to be a big one, so stay tuned if you don't want to miss it. And I'll see you all on the next Wednesday. But for now, I was Lunar, you've been awesome, and I'll see you in the next one.